Hello and welcome back to Rome Total War, where we find ourselves at a little bit of a crossroads. We pretty much wiped out all of our immediate opponents, either wiped them out or made peace with them. So the Goths, for example, are now our allies. Not sure how much that means. They might still come and attack us, but it does feel like things are kind of at a turning point. We know that there are various hordes roaming around just to the south of Campus Quaedi, and it's kind of hard to know what's going to happen next. All I know is we need to keep beefing up Campus Quaedi as much as we can, because it seems pretty likely that at least one of these hordes, whether it's the Goths again, the Sarmatians, or anyone else who might be in this area of the map, which could include the Huns, that's probably it, to be honest, but the Eastern Roman Empire are presumably still around there somewhere. There's a lot going on, and I'm not sure how exactly it's going to play out over the next few turns. Unfortunately, these Sarmatian hordes are blocking me off from seeing exactly how numerous they are, but they're numerous enough to cause us some real problems.
Yes, master.
So
No more moves.
that's pretty big. So yeah, we need to just keep securing our border towns, make them as strong as we possibly can. We haven't exactly got a lot of money to do that with. We're on our way to getting the 100-men hall in Campus Lombardi. I thought we might have already done that, but we haven't. So right now this is the only town where we can recruit chosen axemen. But for now I am just going to focus on chosen archers. I'm going to train up everything we can within reason. I'm going to recruit some berserkers in Campus Châtillon, and that leaves us with just 196 in the bank, so we could use those just to shore up some public order somewhere. I think it makes sense to get some in Campus Burgundiae, and realistically, probably send some of these cavalry to the south to
Unable to move.
defend our southern borders, which are definitely the most threatened. This is rather ominous. He's technically in his lands right now, but I'm not sure where he could possibly be going other than into our lands, so I'm going to keep a close eye on him. We are able to respond pretty quickly. We've got our full army here, and we've got our two forts just to hold the line for a turn or two while we move around and hopefully protect ourselves.
General.
We have a few fairly weak units here, like the 18-man spear warband and the 46-man spear warband, which we're going to send over to Campus Marcomanni to retrain. And we are just so short on money right now that there's not really much else we can do. I'm going to drop this to low tax rate temporarily, just to stave off the public order issues. And I'd be tempted to get some peasants in Campus Barbaricum, but I think we'll just save the 124 that we have in the bank. We do need to keep recruiting, definitely. So I'm going to hold back on buildings for now, even ones that will boost our economy, just because it's all just a little bit too ominous. There are too many potential threats lurking on our borders, and we have to play it safe as, okay. As I suspected, the Franks were on their way to attack us. The thing that annoys me about this is we can definitely beat them, but once we do, they horde up. And when they horde up, it could go one of two ways. They could either play it like the Burgundiae and just move off to the west and not really bother us again, or they could horde up and start attacking us, in which case they're going to be at a massive advantage because they're a horde and we're not, and I'm not sure there's a lot we can do about that. We might be able to fight them off. I can actually reach them from here. Presumably if I step out of town, I'll be able to recruit some mercenaries too. Should have left something in the town, obviously that's not very smart, but actually if we go to a low tax rate, we don't actually need any garrison whatsoever. They're actually fairly happy with that. I'm going to keep recruiting chosen archers. And should we just go for this? Merc options, we've got the Foederati infantry, only 600 to recruit those. That's fairly cheap. Would be good to know exactly what we're up against here. So they got some pretty experienced hunters. Axe Heerban, I think are, well in fact I know, are unique to the Franks. Good against armor, but in theory they're not great against lightly armored units. Still, we can't really tell too much from them just from this. I think I will bring the horse archers and just assume that we can probably take them with what we currently have. We don't have the best infantry, but we've got lots of cavalry, and we've got pretty good archers too. These guys would just be limited to their hunters, which are pretty weak. Although that particular unit is quite experienced, it's also lost a few of its men.
Orders. General.
I suppose the thing I'm worried about is they do have Paladin Bodyguard, so we're going to want some decent anti-cav. So we have one unit of Foederati infantry. I think we probably want another.
Yes.
I'm going to send these back to the town, which massively improves the public order situation straight away.
General.
And we are going to go ahead and hire these, which leaves us with just under 500 to potentially recruit down here. As it's looking fairly safe. It looks like the Goths have moved on and they're now going up after Carnuntum, but the Sarmatians are also headed in this direction, and I don't know what to make of that. So still very much threatened on both borders right now, as I think luckily the Roxolani are at least somewhat distracted. There was a big Hun army lurking just outside Vicus Samate, which has now moved to the south, or just away. So they will probably not disturb us for some time. Eastern Roman rebels have gone back to war with the Eastern Empire. That's not at all surprising, and the Franks with us. But the Eastern Roman Empire have broken their alliance with the Huns, and I think they're actually falling apart.
Orders.
I haven't had a good look down there, but it looks like the Huns are doing fairly well. So it seems pretty likely.
Attack.
We can't reach them, I thought we could. It seems pretty likely that the Huns would win that fight. But with the few resources we have left, we are once again just going to go ahead and recruit a few peasants. So let's shore up Campus Burgundiae as much as we can, move off a couple more of these units to the south.
Move out. General. General. Move.
And we've got enough for one more unit, so unfortunately can't afford to build too much. And I think we're going to be forced just to end it there. We do have a couple of diplomats around. I think it's worth probably using this guy just to keep an eye on the Franks even more closely, see if they have anything else outside of Vicus Franki. On the other hand, this is a threat too. They could still come to the east, they could still attack us.
I cannot do that.
Although they probably won't, let's be honest. They do have a rather large Alemanni force just to their south. This is pretty weak. Obviously this couldn't take Campus Frisiae, but further to the south they do of course have the garrison at, I thought that was Augusta Treverorum, what's it called? I just want to find out now. I don't have a great deal of uses for our diplomats right now. Colonia Agrippina
At once.
has a fairly strong garrison. But yeah, I'm just going to end the turn. I don't want to faff around with my agents too much. There's not really much for them to be doing now. Beyond what they're already doing, is the Franks have decided not to attack the fort, but they've also decided not to back off. And we made no money that turn. Okay, so yeah, financially we're not doing too great now. We're going to have to take on the Franks properly. So it thinks they're pretty strong. I think they're going to bring the battering rams to the fight, which kind of surprises me. They've got raiders, they've got levy spearmen. I don't think they're that tough really. They've got 2 units of warlord, which is slightly concerning, but otherwise fairly manageable.
Fresh warriors have arrived. Perhaps it is the time to send them to kill the enemy.
Okay, we do have the stronger units here, or at least the stronger ranged units, so they're going to have to come to us. We've got a pretty solid formation, if they do charge us from the front, which, being the AI, they probably will. Some levy spearmen there, I think we do outrange them, so I might focus on them. I was hoping that the Paladin Bodyguard would come forward, but it doesn't look like they're going to do so. One big weakness I should mention with the Chosen Archers is that although they do closely resemble the Chosen Archer warband of Rome Total War, they don't actually have long-range missiles, they just have normal range, which is a big letdown when it comes to them, to be honest, because although you would mostly say the Lombardi are a pretty well-balanced faction, that's a fairly significant weakness. But on the upside, we are not currently facing a foe that can outrange us, so we don't have to worry too much. They also have pretty poor archer options. In fact, their archer options are even worse than ours. They just have the hunters, and the hunters are not really going to be an issue. I think because we attack them, they're not going to rush forward, but that's completely fine. We can just take pretty much our whole force and send them gradually forwards, as they're actually riding off pretty quickly. I might be able to catch them in the back here as no. Okay, they decided they are going to stay put, but I think we need to just move this whole lot forward. I don't know if this is going to work, if this is going to just completely mess up the formation, as it looks like they're still considering coming forward. But they can't quite decide. If I can just get them into range of my archers, I should probably be pretty safe. I don't have a lot of faith in skirmish mode, but I will risk it just for this. And I'll take the cavalry, send them around the side. Main thing I want to do with the cavalry is just catch out that paladin bodyguard. Probably won't get the one right at the back, but the ones that are a little bit closer, or the ones on the flank I should say, should be a little bit easier to catch out, as these need to start running straight away. And we do have a spear warband here to respond to this, and we also have the foederati infantry, so that's pretty much as ideal a matchup as we're going to get. These guys need to back off. So, unfortunately the paladin bodyguard just stopped in his tracks. I'm kind of surprised we got away with that. But this is their general, so let's try and kill him off before he runs away. I've taken quite a few losses on that unit, but I think that's okay. Obviously we're still losing a few because they're just not making any effort to back off at all. But we might be able to catch this guy out. He's got a few stragglers, but we managed to catch him out. He was amongst our mass, so that's going to massively drop their morale. And I think we can just go to flaming ammo. Hopefully scare them off, as this unit is getting destroyed. I don't know how that happened. I should have put them in guard mode, I guess. Got some more coming in now. Mercenary, foederati infantry. Or cavalry, I should say. I'm going to send in my chosen axemen, who should at least do kind of okay against them. They're not massively heavily armored, but are able to scare them off pretty quickly. As, if we send our general over here, might just be able to rescue what's left of that spear warband. And yeah, let's put all of these guys in guard mode. That's something I often forget to do, but does make a big difference at times. This looks like they're pretty keen just to run off. No, they reformed. Great. Okay, but the Franks are leaving the field, so we're going to have to chase them down, I think. I think it's okay if we let a few of them go, but obviously these are lots of potential kills right now that we're missing out on. Okay, so at the back they've got their veterans. Definitely worth killing those off. Axeban are potentially a little bit dangerous against our general. I think we should be able to catch a few of these. They've got quite some distance to go. They're actually leaving via the corner, which is probably the slowest way they can go. But we're not really going to be able to catch them up with anything other than our cavalry. Unless we can persuade them to turn around. But it looks like we're going to hit these guys in the back at least, which is good because they're pretty solid. And this is surely the best way to kill them off. Managed to rout them straight away. Perfect. Let's go straight for the Axeban in that case. Further ahead they've got some Levy Spearmen. 3 units of Levy Spearmen and some Barbarian Peasants, which we can probably just move straight towards. Hitting everything in the back as we go, and potentially trigger some kind of mass rout. Let's just move beyond all this. Okay, looks like the spearmen considered fighting us and then gave up. That's fine, we can easily get lots of kills on these guys, but the rest of their units are looking fairly likely to escape. Levy Spearmen still able to do quite some damage to us, just from those 2 seconds that they actually tried to fight us in. But the lion's share of the kills still went our way, so it's worth a go. Once again, they want to fight us here. I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like they were just about to flee and then changed their minds. Okay, let's sweep up whatever's left. So we didn't kill that many of them. Apparently we did. They only have 300 left. I'm kind of surprised we got that many. Okay, so we have got a pretty big advantage now that we can push on them. I'm going to push them all the way back to their capital, and I'm probably going to let them hold up. There is something you can do. There is a thing. I don't know whether it should be considered an exploit or not, but I think it's legit because it's a legit strat that you can follow before barbarian invasion anyway, which is that if you can kill off their family members without taking their final town,
March.
then you actually prevent them from hoarding, you just wipe out the faction. So one way of doing that is to attack the final town and to kill off the family members and then withdraw, which does feel a little bit like an exploit. So we've got a Galloper for Burkhard, that's pretty good. That's a little bit more command when we attack. He's still reasonably young, I mean 47 is getting slightly old, but given that it's a fairly short campaign, we might be able to hang on to Burkhard to the very end. I certainly like that idea. As yeah, this is actually pretty weak now. We did manage to take out pretty much all of their infantry. They've literally just got one guy left of Levy Spearmen. And apart from that, it's nearly all cav, so definitely worth chasing down. He's probably going to recruit the mercenary Golden Band. But that's fairly okay, as we can now see, just to add to the sense of chaos, the Vandals have emerged, and they're currently attacking Aquincum. I don't know when they're planning to settle. It's taken them a while, but Campus Coidae is looking just as insecure as ever, so a little bit unnerved by that. I'm going to send a few of these units over to Campus Coidae as soon as we can,
Able to move.
and let's join them up with these. And I think we can probably spare at least one more Spear Warband. I'm pretty sure Campus Burgundia is completely safe now. Like, in theory, the Franks could sneak through this shadowy area and catch us out, but
Yes.
the odds of that are slim to none, so I'm fairly content just to leave it like that, as I am going to keep this spy here, I think, for now. I can go into the Frankish capital,
Orders.
but for now we're going to keep an eye out just in case the Alemanni decide to go to the east. As I would be curious to see if there is actually a family member in there or not. If there's not, then they've really screwed themselves over here. But most likely they will be offered a new family member if this truly is their only remaining family member, so can't get our hopes up. Pretty likely they will hold up, as the Franks have sacked, I think, the Roman town they were going for. And if the Vandals are coming for me, I don't know it yet. Nothing was shown.
Orders.
Okay, so we can't reach Vicus Franki this turn.
Yes, master.
I am really tempted to go and have a look at this. The fact that they've not recruited a 4th unit suggests that maybe they're low on money. As yeah, they do have their faction leader in here. In rude health. That's a fairly unusual use of the word rude. Don't tend to see that too often. Okay, so we're up to 317, which is obviously not enough to recruit the mercenary Golden Band, but I think we have pretty much confirmed that these guys are really struggling economically right now.
We shall.
And we can actually reach their capital, but we would have to leave Campus Châtillon slightly open to attack. The thing is, if I let this guy go, and I attack Vicus Franki and I allow it to horde, then this guy is going to pop up with a much bigger force, so I think we do just have to wipe him out completely. Annoyingly, it looks like they are going to be able to hide in the woods, as I wouldn't be surprised if they start to back off here. If we just charge them with our cav, I'd say we have an okay chance, as they don't appear to be rushing off into the woods just yet, but still plenty of time for that to happen. I'm going to send my archers forward, but have to be a little bit careful here because they could be caught out, so let's back them up with the spearmen as soon as possible. Just put them in the front. Rush them over. And send these forward straight away in the hopes of luring them in. There's actually, I thought those were peasants in the front, but they're actually the hunters, which is slightly less comfortable. Okay, they are the peasants in the front. Must have accidentally hovered over the wrong thing. Hunters are coming forward. Might be able to catch them out. As looks like the warlord himself is considering going for a charge, but changes his mind once the spearmen run forward. Okay, let's try and catch out these hunters. Potentially backing off. Yeah, I think he's going to try and flee again. The thing is, I think at this point if he flees, he does just lose a big part of his army. So, it might be that he's forced to attack us this time. So we're massively superior in terms of range. I'm going to go for the raiders and the mercenaries there. So it looks like the warlord is potentially going to come in and attack us, but we should be able to surround him. I'm going to pull out of here actually. Not the best matchup for this. And let's try and go for these. I'm going to send the spearmen in to attack the warlord because I'm pretty sure he's going to go for us soon. We're close enough to him, and it looks like our units are determined to fight him even before we're ready, but we can definitely surround him at this point, so let's just go for it. Let's crush him. And some of these lighter cav units I think can just go for the hunters. We should be pretty safe to take this guy on. We do need our warlord because our light cav alone I'm not going to do too great. He needs to step up and hurry up. He's taking his time. He's coming in now and looks like we haven't lost too many, so we'll be able to rout him pretty quickly, I'm sure. Got 22 left and he's rapidly losing confidence, starting to rout. Pretty sure he won't get out of here alive. Perfect.
Killed the enemy general. Now his men show fear. Now they may turn and run. Attack! Attack!
We've still got a few units left, so let's go and hunt those down. And what's going on with these guys? Got some raiders, and these guys haven't routed whatever they are. Some more raiders, I guess. We're actually managing to get quite a few kills on us, but it's fine. We managed to scare them off now, and their mercs are coming in. We massively outnumber these. They do have some experience, but there's only about 3 of them, so easy to rout them, and we can just clean up what's left of the peasants and the hunters. The hunters in particular are annoying, so let's get rid of all of those. And what have they got left? We've killed 90% of them, which I don't know if that's enough or not, so I'm going to triple speed it and try and finish off as many as I can. Always very hard to see in these trees. I'm going to try and look at the minimap in order to figure out who's nearest for us to kill, as I think there's the barbarian peasants over here who we haven't got yet. Okay, they did manage to do some damage to us, but mostly in the form of, I think, their warlord charging into our spear warbands. And looks like we lost a few archers too. But no, we lost a few cavalry. Archers were pretty much fine. Okay, that's perfect. We will get a few back, I think, from injuries. And the Franks have almost nothing left now. I have no idea why they decided to declare war on us. Maybe they didn't know what we had left in our Saxon town, so they thought they'd just go for Campus Chatiai, which was much weaker, but they put themselves in a pretty bad position now. Their main town is pretty badly damaged. I'm not sure why exactly. Can't recall them going to war with anyone apart from us recently. Unless they're genuinely still really poor from when the Saxons attacked them. Berbers and the Eastern Empire rebels, that's not too relevant. Veteran warrior for Burkhard is getting better and better. This gives us extra security, that's great, and extra command when commanding infantry, so he's looking pretty solid all around now. And someone's got married. This guy, one of our kind of anonymous generals in Campus Quaidai. At this point we've not really got too much to be doing with them, other than waiting for the potential Vandal attack. If the Vandals come and attack us, we probably can't cheese our way out of it again, and we could be in some real trouble because they're looking scarier than the Goths. And the Goths are going to be moving on pretty soon, I think. Best case scenario, the Sarmatians and the Vandals decide to go and attack each other and just wipe each other out, but I think if the hordes were going to wipe each other out, they would have done it already. It's been a little while now, and they don't appear to be going down that road. I'm going to send a few more spearmen.
No more moves.
And let's bring in the berserkers too. Okay, so that town is about as solid as it's going to be. You'll probably get rid of the mercs, but I will hang on to them for now.
Lord?
And I am going to have a quick check of
Yes, master.
our agents.
Yes, master.
Still not sure what's going on with the Sarmatians. I think the hordes can sometimes take an extremely long time to actually go anywhere. As, I'm guessing these guys won't become protectorates. Oh my god, they did. That's the first time I've ever had someone actually agree to be my protectorate. Okay, so they're going to pay us, but they have, like, no money. And I kind of want their town. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I know there are ways to do it, like you can you can pay them sometimes, and they'll agree to it, but that was considerably easier than expected. Okay, so we've now got a protectorate for what it's worth. They, I think, don't have any enemies apart from us. Ah, they're enemies with the Vandals. I don't know why, that's really random, but all the more reason to potentially not trust the Vandals, which are advancing towards us. I don't know if I feel good about that, because we need 14 territories to win the campaign, and I do want that one, but I also want to get rid of the Alemanni, so I might just push towards them.
General.
Okay, let's end the turn. I don't think there's much else we can do. Goths are moving on to the west, that's good. We probably won't see them again now. But the Sarmatians, still unclear what they're doing. Looks like they're going west. What the Vandals going to do, that's a very big question indeed. Looks like they're moving on towards Carnuntum. Still very much ambiguous though. Okay. Can we learn anything interesting about our new Protectorate? What have they given us? Have they given us anything? Diplomacy and tributes? No, they're not giving us anything. I think they're making no money. That's my best guess. No, they get an income of 1,107. I'm not sure when they start paying us, but okay. We can at least go over their lands
General.
and just move straight towards the Alemanni, who are actually looking pretty vulnerable. But unfortunately,
Attack.
we are just not making enough money. I'm still going for this. I suppose one good thing about the Franks being our protectorates is they're not going to horde up, which would have been a slightly annoying situation. If we had to fight the whole Frankish horde, we could have lost this army, or at least we could have had it significantly weakened, whereas now we can just keep expanding, and hopefully they won't betray us. I think protectorates just don't betray you. I know they can break an alliance with you, but as long as you're always the one who's kicking off wars, I think that's mostly fine. So we might be able to afford some more mercs now, as no we can't. If there were some foederati infantry we could get those, but I'm fine just to recruit in one of our other towns. So let's go over to Campus Lombardi, which has now finished the 100-men hall, and we'll recruit some chosen axemen.
Yes.
Can potentially bring these guys into the town, so let's move the mercenaries out.
Orders.
Should we put ourselves on the bridge?
Lord. General.
We don't have the best infantry to actually hold them off here. Let's see how far these can go. Okay, so these can go far enough.
General.
The thing is, I think just by putting our zone of control here, we pretty much bait them into attacking us.
Leaving the army. Move out.
Okay, I'm going to move the mercs out.
Yes. General. Move
It's
out.
It's really borderline, because obviously it's a lot easier to fight them on the bridge than anywhere else, and it's the only place we might actually stand a chance. But if there's any chance at all that they're not going to attack us, then we don't want to bait them into doing so. And we know they'll look for any excuse to do so, because they already have.
Move. Orders. Yes. Chief.
Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And we really need some income, so we do need to go and attack the Alemanni as soon as possible. I'd be tempted to split this force in half, so we can attack both towns at once, but they're pretty heavily defended towards the north. And I'm sure they have more than this, so they might have some hidden away somewhere. They've also got chosen axemen, so their armies are actually
General.
getting better and better technologically. And what can we find out about our financial situation now? So projected treasury of 749, that's still really not good enough. If we can put up any tax rates, we will, so this one can go up to very high. Campus Quaidai is already very high. Campus Chatiai can go up to, I think, very high too. And this can at least go up to normal for now, and I'm going to recruit some peasants too. I should really recruit better things in this particular town, but we simply can't afford to do so. Okay, can't do anything with this. Let's see, I did not see what the Vandals did there. Hopefully they're not any closer to us, but it seems to be the only direction they're going in. Okay, they're definitely coming towards us. Are they just passing through? I'm not sure. They could be going for the Franks because we know they are at war with the Franks. I don't really want that to happen.
Yes.
I feel like it's almost inevitable we're going to have to fight them because we are about to potentially take the Alemanni capital. So I don't think they have anything too scary. These two are cities. That's a large city. This is just as it's their capital, so I don't know too much about it.
Yes.
I'm just going to go for this for now. Take the capital from them.
Sieging settlement. Settlement under siege.
Okay, so the Franks sided with us instead of the Alemanni. That's good. Almost misread that then and got slightly worried. So Donus is now axe bitten as well. It seems to keep happening to people. This guy hasn't even been in a fight. Okay, we've got some kind of defense here. But it's not going to be much. On the open field,
Move out.
we could be in trouble.
Forward.
So where did I actually send my mercs? My mercs are with these. Okay, so we've still got 800 left in the bank. Let's recruit some actual useful units, so let's go with Chosen Archers, and just slightly too short to afford Chosen Axemen. The Vandals may seek to settle here. If they do, we will be deprived of our lands, freedom, and homes by these outsiders. Hopefully they're just passing through, but even if they are just passing through, they've got nowhere to go except to Vicus.
Orders.
Alemanni.
Sir.
Okay. I wonder what happens actually if they do attack the Franks, which seems pretty unlikely, but if they do and the Franks then horde up, do we then have essentially a horde under our control?
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on these. Okay, in this town, because they do have stone walls, it's going to be kind of hard to assault them. I think we want sappers.
Destroy.
Not possible to build sappers, okay. I think 3 siege towers make sense, because then if they do have something strong on the walls, we can attack them from 2 different sides at once. And then over in this town, already recruiting, so Campus Alemanni, can't recruit anything too useful there, apart from Berserkers, which are simply too expensive, so we're going to get some Spear Warband in our capital. And we're going to move some to the south, as this could be a bad turn for us. Let's see what happens. Looks like nothing happened. Nothing happened, but they're lurking. And this guy is pretty solid. I'm going to accept him, even though we can't really afford to be paying anyone else's salaries right now. Looks like the Vandals are actually passing through.
Orders.
But I'm going to be nervous about that for some time, especially if we do take this town from the Alemanni. I do want to see what they've got on their walls. So I'm starting to think I should have gone for Augusta Treverorum instead. We don't have the best infantry, that's the thing. For actually fighting them on the walls, we've got our Chosen Axemen and our veterans, and nothing else is really going to stand a chance up there. So we'd have to break through their gates. And we only have the 1 ram to do that with, so we can just queue up a few more rams.
Settlement
Might be worth just waiting 1 more turn. Can't massively afford to. Okay, none of that's too relevant. Agent detected the Alemanni. Okay, that's completely fine. We can easily defend this town. Looks like the Vandals aren't going to trouble us there at least, but remains very ominous. Let's see what happens. Skipping through turns pretty quickly now. They want to end the bloodshed. Can I take a town from them? I'm guessing I can't ask them to be my protectorates.
Break off.
Oh my god. What's going on? Okay, well we've got them now. Sweet. I don't know if they can betray us or not. That's kind of a big deal. They've got 3 towns. Okay. We've now got 2 protectorates very unexpectedly. I'm probably just going to move to the south because we need this town. This is one of our objectives for the whole campaign. So it looks like they're actually coming to fight us off. I think I'm just going to go for the Western Roman Empire to the south. And we can potentially just push into Italy, which is not how I expected my empire to look. But if these guys aren't going to betray us... then that's probably okay. Leaving my actual lands kind of undefended now. So, Vicus Saxonis, potentially a little bit vulnerable to whatever's in Campus Fricii. I'm going to pick up some Chosen Axemen there. And I think it might be time to at least consider growing the economy again. Let's just get some more Spear Warband here, so we can potentially bump up the tax rate once the public order improves. And we're going to send our Chosen Axemen a little bit further along to where they're going to be more useful. And once again, I'm just going to end the turn. I should probably be making better use of my agents, but I just can't really be bothered right now. I'm really curious to see how all this is going to play out with the Vandals and everything else. The Vandals are still not attacking us, but they don't have too many places to go that don't involve attacking either us or our allies.
Yes, master.
Is it time to declare war on the Western Roman Empire? It might be. This is looking very vulnerable to us, so as long as we can put up some kind of semi-competent defense up to the north, which could be difficult, admittedly. If they do attack us with all of this, we're kind of in serious trouble, but maybe the Alemanni will help us out. I'm not really sure. It's going to be interesting either way. This was not the way I expected this part to go, but I'm fairly happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.